Watching Duke the other night, it seemed like they would be a hard team to defend because it looks like they get shots off quick in the possession and they try and get that one-on-one matchup, and the first good shot, they take it.
Well, obviously they're hard to guard because they have great players. It starts with Okafor inside. He's hard to handle one-on-one, but you double him and you're creating offense for other players. You don't double him and he scores on almost everybody he plays against, and he fouls guys out. And so you got to do different things against him. Their pace is very good. Quinn Cook's having a great year. They play almost with, I don't want to say 2-point guards, but 2-point guard type of players. Guys that are, in some ways you would call them combo guards, and that they can both score 20 and both can make shots, both can handle the ball against pressure. It's a great luxury. I think it's one of the reasons why they're very good. And then they just, their other pieces I think are really good. I think Jefferson is an underrated player. Like, I think he just does. I think if he was on a lot more teams, he'd score more points and do more things. But he's an unselfish kid that rebounds and defends and, gets timely baskets and obviously Winslow's a pro too. I mean, he's a guy that can play two positions. He handles the ball like a guard, strong enough and athletic enough to be like a power forward. And they're just, they're as talented as anybody you'll play. And, they're playing very well right now. The way they've, the wins they have on the road and things they've been able to do recently have really impressive. So, but it's a great opportunity for us. Looking forward to it. Really no pressure on us. We just kind of go there and play. And, like a lot of things, it's hard. They score so many points that you're going to have to score. And, that's obviously a little bit of a challenge for us. Some games we don't shoot the ball very well. But, if you're a competitor, you want to be in this kind of environment, this kind of game, and go have some fun with it.
Okafor is in the walking boot in the event he's out or limited. How does that change the way you play?
It changes things because you don't have to double the post, but they're still going to be very good, because all their other guys, they still got pros and other really good pieces, but certainly, he's a big part of what everybody does. So, I'd be shocked if he doesn't play. Jaron tweaked his ankle yesterday, but I guess it hasn't made national news that he's was in a walking boot for a day or whatever it was. I think but we're hoping he'll play. So.
Transition defense has been pretty good this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of it was turnovers. We had turnovers, bad turnovers that led to points, and you can't guard that. Those were the big baskets, I thought, in terms of losing momentum in the game. I thought we had 3 plays where we, one of them rope backs, dribbled off the back of somebody's heel and bounced right to their guy for a layup. Rod made a play that, on a break where we had numbers, and he made a bad decision, terrible decision, and it resulted in a layup the other way. I think that one was when it was tied 32-all, and we actually stopped them, got the ball. We're going to take the lead. I think if we score that possession for the first time, we've kind of gotten control of the game a little bit, but we made a bad play. And all of a sudden it turns into a layup for them, and that's how the momentum of basketball changes. And we had a couple of those plays, and those are frustrating. But transition defense will be important because they do, when you got somebody like Okafor that rebounds it as well as he does, it allows you guys, other guys, to leak out. It allows Tyus Jones, it allows Quinn Cook to kind of get a head start on transition and longer outlet passes, and such a good rebounder that it takes pressure off other players.
Who do you think Ron will be matched up on?
We switch some things so guys end up with different players. He'll guard Jones and Cook both. All those guys will rotate back and forth on those guys for the most part.
You watched the Duke Carolina game the other night. As high quality games it was, the end was a little bit clunky with Carolina trying to hang on, free throws, inbounds, and all that.
I think part of that's just college. I think that shows you that even the best teams, guys miss big shots, miss big free throws, make mistakes in big games. I think, that's what is, that's the difference in playing in an environment where there's 9,000 people going crazy and you're an 18 or 19-year-old kid as opposed to a 25-year-old pro in a regular season game where there's not everybody going crazy because you play 81 games or 82 games. I think that's what makes college basketball unique, and I think that's what makes it harder on the players. And I don't think fans and media understand that quite as much. As they don't take all of that into consideration, that it's a pretty big stage, it's a pretty big environment, you're playing against really good players, and guess what? Your guys are going to make mistakes. They're going to miss a shot. They're going to miss a free throw. They're going to make a bad pass. A ball's going to fumble out of their hands. I mean, and that's part of basketball. And the uncertainty of it, I think, is part of what makes everybody on the edge of their seat. I think in the NBA there aren't as many of those mistakes. Guys make their free throws at the end, not all the time. Obviously, they make better decisions. They don't, they're stronger, make stronger catches, cuts. But in college, there's a lot more mistakes. There's a lot more, adversity that players and teams have to go through to win games. And I think, that can be tough.
Fred, in the grind of a conference schedule,
Mm-hmm.
particularly 4 games in 8 days,
Yeah.
how hard is it to diagnose in the moment just how much rest?
It can be. Yeah, it can be tough because, it's we were a tired team in the last game. We were a tired team. And, it's no excuse. We needed to still find a way to win. We were still tied with 10 minutes to go or 11 minutes to go, so it wasn't like all of a sudden it was fatigue that caused us to lose the game. But you don't have quite the bounce, quite the energy, quite the life, and maybe it doesn't get you off to as good a start. Maybe you look to your reserve tank and it just doesn't. Even our bench energy wasn't quite as good in that game. But it's hard. Yeah, it's hard as a coach because emotionally, I think there's a lot of it too. For these guys, like they go to school every day. They get home. We have an emotionally draining game. Guys put their heart and soul. They play 30 minutes, compete their tails off, win or lose. Especially when you lose, you don't feel good, and then the next day you got an 8 a.m. class, or you got 2 hours of tutoring in the afternoon from 1 to 3, and then you got to go right to practice. It's like, it's hard. It's emotionally draining on these guys. It's you can almost get used to it a little bit in football because you have the week to kind of ramp it up or taper it down as they kind of do the last Thursday, Friday. With us, it's more, you're prepping on a one-day turnaround. Somebody else hasn't played. Now we haven't played, this whole week because we played on Monday. Duke played Wednesday night. Is that an advantage? Sometimes it is. Because our guys got Tuesday and Wednesday basically off to kind of recharge, hopefully get their minds right, get charged back up, and then we'll have a whole nother week. It's not ideal the way this worked. Like we would have liked one of those weeks earlier, but it just, you don't control that. But it is hard as a coach to manage all of that, and kind of, that's why 18 games of this is brutal. It's tough.
KJ getting dealt to Houston.
Yeah.
Good spot for him to.
You know what? I really don't. I don't know enough to know. I know they have guys there, and they have a good team, so it's a chance to be on a winning franchise, which I think is good. How does that affect him? I can't imagine he'll play as much as he would if he'd stayed at Philadelphia, just because of, he kind of worked his way into a rotation already and all that. But again, I don't study NBA basketball, so I don't. I'll look at it hard when the season's over, but certainly hope things go well for him.
I wanted to ask about Cameron. It's not one of these brand new facilities, but is it, I don't want to say fun, but unique to coach in a place like that? Do you enjoy that challenge?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You want to be in those kind of environments, and I think that's what's great about college basketball is they're different. You don't want them all to be cookie cutter and to be the same, and I think it's neat that you have some that are 9,000 and some that are 19,000, and different colors, different things about each place and each fan base that make them unique and special, and all these guys, you know, growing up watching college basketball, that's a place you want to play and a place you want to coach, and you know, it doesn't all just being brand new doesn't make something great. The atmosphere is what makes college basketball great, and they have maybe the best in college basketball.
Are you concerned about Jerron's ankle right now?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't practice today. Like he has a sprained ankle, and we'll see. Now he was walking this afternoon. It was better than yesterday, but I don't know if he'll be, you know, 100%. If he is, great. I mean, I don't think he'll be 100%, but you know, is the adrenaline of the game and all that going to be enough to keep him going, play through some pain, because it's going to be painful? Or is it going to be too painful when he's warming up and plays the first 5 minutes and he just doesn't feel right? And, you know, obviously we don't want to risk further injury, but, you know, he'll want to play just because it'll be juiced up from the environment and all that. Now, is he able to play and play effectively? You know, we won't know. You know, we practiced this morning at 6:30 actually, just so we could get on the road early.